I can remember watching you as a kid growing up, and I remember you calling games with my dear friend, guy I consider family, Ted Robinson, back in the
Yeah.
Big East days.
Yeah.
I'm curious now. Here we sit in the off season. Are you able to ever like zoom out on your career and be like, "Oh, wow, look at
Yeah.
what I have been able to do in the sport of football"?
Yeah, I try to be as reflective as I can, and I'm so appreciative and thankful for the career that I've been able to have. I mean, when I first got into it, you mentioned Ted. He was the very first guy I worked with. The very first year I did Big East games, and I only worked 1 year with him, but I count him as a dear friend, and he was one of those mentors early in my career that helped me, and so. But I when I first started, I was just hoping I could make a career of it. That first year with Ted, I think I made $1,000 a game. I did 11 games, and I that happened for the first couple of years, and I just wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it or not. But then I got a big break, in between my third and fourth year, and got a chance to do some games for ABC, and the thing kind of took off after that. But I'm very appreciative. I played for 7 years in the NFL, and I've been doing this for over 30, and so it's just amazing to me. And then the people that I've gotten to work with, in addition to guys like Ted, I mean, Vern Lundquist and Sean McDonough and Brad Nessler and Mike Patrick and Mike Tirico. I've worked with some phenomenal people, giants in the broadcast business, and of course now I'm with the young pup with Noah Eagle, who is going to be one of the great superstars in this business as he, follows the path of his dad. So it's been a real blessing.
I feel like people who have been around the game, like yourselves, you're not just broadcasters or former players, but you're kind of a guardian of the game. I'm curious how that phrase lands on you for somebody who's been broadcasting for over 30 years now.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm a very good guardian because it's so different now, right? I mean, there's so many things that have, changed the landscape of college football. But I love the game. I'm passionate about it. I consider myself a fan of the college football game, not just somebody who works in it and broadcasts it. So it is very important to me, and the way I do my job is very important to me. I want to prepare every game the same way, the same amount of detail and attention, um, and then also, when I call a game, I mean, I really I want to be honest and give my opinion, but I don't want to tear anybody down, whether it's a coach or a player. I know how difficult it is to do both, and I just try to really be as positive as I can, but also as honest as I can in the way I do my job.
Yeah, I want to lean into that a little bit. One of our dear friends, Chip Kelly, told me a story about you that I want to share. I
Mm.
hope it doesn't embarrass you at all. But Chip told me that early on in his Oregon tenure, you would come in on a Friday, and this is before we had tape that we could watch in
Right,
our own
right,
homes. And
right.
he left the office to go do the team meeting in advance of the Saturday game, obviously, but came on back because he forgot something. And there it is after 9 o'clock. You're still in the room that they put us broadcasters in sometimes to
Yeah.
watch film, just breaking down, preparing for the game and your craft. When you try to describe what you put into the game, I'm curious you could shed some light on that for us fellow broadcasters as well of how you attack the
Yeah.
craft.
Yeah, I mean it's like I've never counted the hours. I don't punch a time clock, I mean I do a lot of reading early in the week and back in those days as you mentioned, it was just much easier to wait till you got on site so you could get in an actual film room and watch coaches film and in some places it was a great setup. They had a room for scouts or whatever. Other places you had to wait till there was no meeting or, the special teams were out. So you kind of had to work around the team's schedule and the coach's schedule. But watching film has always been such a big part of my preparation, and I mean Noah, he prepares for what he needs. So he probably reads a lot more articles and personal story articles than I do. Our sideline reporter, Catherine Tappan, she has her own way of preparing. For me, I watch a lot of game tape, and I'll try to watch for any particular game. I'll try to go back maybe 3 games and watch each team. If they played each other the year before, even better. Particularly if the coaching staffs are the same or systems are the same. But yeah, that's to me that's kind of my bread and butter is to watch tape, to watch matchups, to watch personnel, and then have a comfort zone when I go into the game, knowing I've put the time in I need. And then it's just reactionary because I can remember one game. I'll give you a great example. Did the championship game, and I joke with Colt McCoy about this a lot because he works with us now at NBC. But I remember the championship game between Texas and Alabama in the Rose Bowl, I believe. And you do all this prep, and I mean, I really felt Texas had it matched up great. I thought they had a chance to win the game. And Colt gets hurt in like the first quarter, trying to run a little option on third or fourth down, and now all of a sudden the game completely changes. So all that prep that you had in for Colt McCoy, and how he could stress the Alabama defense and all that, it's kind of gone, and you have to regroup and reorganize and make sure you have your notes on the backup quarterback and just how the game changes. So you do all that prep, you're comfortable going in that you've got your bases covered, but then once the game starts, you have to just go with the flow of the game.